There are basketball coaches and there are life coaches, people who deal with wins and losses in life, and some who embrace the spiritual component. Guilford boys head basketball coach Chris Dixon does all of that. He's the focus of our Overtime Spotlight segment, brought to you by Benchmark Exteriors. Chris Dixon is passionate on game nights when he's coaching up his Guilford Vikings. He's passionate about the sport of basketball.
See, God wants to take you, He wants to revive you, He wants to restore you, and then He wants to renew you.
He's also passionate about his faith. Dixon is the pastor at Second Christian Church on North Rockton Avenue in downtown Rockford. In one role, he leads teenage boys. In the other, he leads people of all ages. Both roles demand preparation. In basketball, there's game planning and film work. As a pastor, there's
prepping for prayer, prepping for management, prepping for scriptures, and prepping for sermons.
There are parallels between basketball and life, between coaching and being a pastor.
It's not so much as just the game itself, but the game of life that we're in. It's a very eerie coincidence how life and winning those battles, sometimes you may not think you see the victory, but understanding and trusting in the process, believing in God, trusting in that process. If you can trust in it, then you can overcome the loss and gain a victory.
In basketball, we look at a season as a little bit of a roller coaster. There are going to be ups, there are going to be downs, no matter how good your team is. And that's the way life is, right?
Exactly how life is. But if you trust in the process, which is the same as sports and basketball, you trust in the work that you put in, and the work that you put in practice, also the work that you put in prayer and study and understanding. And that roller coaster ride will go up.
Dixon had to learn to trust the process. He spent many years as an assistant basketball coach at Rockford Jefferson and then at Rockford East, waiting and waiting for his chance to get a head coaching job. He got discouraged and almost moved to South Carolina a few years ago. But then his chance came. He got the head coaching job at Guilford, and that same year, he got his job as a pastor. He believes it was all God's plan for him.
He kept bringing me back. This is where I want you. This is where I want you. This is where I need you. He made everything clear to me that this is the job I have you to do. Not only will you be a coach on the court, I also have you being a coach in lives of others.
Last basketball season, it really came together for Dixon and for Guilford. The Vikings won their first Nick 10 championship in 23 years. But for Dixon, true victories go beyond the basketball court. And being a mentor to teenagers is more than coaching them up on X's and O's. It's also teaching them core values of life and how to become better men as well as better players.
I always tell them that I win when they win, and not just on the basketball court. I win when they win in life.
Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord.
How big is the need in our community of Rockford for young people to have a spiritual basis to build on? How big is that need right now?
I think it's huge. I find myself being that stable force a lot of times with young people that they can come, whether it's to the school or to the church, and feel some sense of secureness that somebody believes and trusts in them.
And if you didn't know, Dixon grew up in Rockford. He graduated from Jefferson in 1989, and he also has yet another job. He is a production supervisor at Piranha Mega Fab in Rockford.
He is certainly making a positive impact on a lot of people and on our community. We have more to come after one final break.
Here's